Hey there, it's AB, and this is the holiday edition of Drunk News, which is why I'm wearing this audaciously silly hat. I've been told that my ears are somewhat substantial. I think it's a fact that they grow and they never stop growing. So old men have like really big ears, and I'm getting to be an older person in the world. So when you kind of fold my ears over with a hat like this, I can look a little elfish. I understand. I've heard this before, and let's celebrate it because elves are fucking awesome, right? Welcome to Drunk News. I'm AB, and I'm supposed to say I'm not actually wearing any pants because my dream is to do a job with no pants, but I forgot to take my pants off. So hold on one second. You're not going to see a thing, I promise you. I'm a boxer brief guy, but I got to take my pants off. My dream is to work with no pants on, and I remembered everything but the pants. That should be a band. There was a band called Everything But the Girl, I think. Everything But the Pants. And the opposite of Everything But the Pants would be Donald ducking. Wait, no, that is Everything But the Pants. You're wearing everything but the pants. You got a shirt and no pants. Donald Duck style. All right, it's a live show, obviously. This is Drunk News Dry. Nope, not going prohibition. We're not going dry. That's just German for two. We had Drunk News Uno, and now we have Drunk News Dry. Eins, zwei, dry. Oh, wait. Is it Vi? Eins, zwei, dry? Is it supposed to be Vi? I totally fucked it up. Well, anyway, here we are. Drunk News, that many. Remember in Inglourious Bastards when the English guy is pretending to be German in that little like basement pub or whatever it is, and it's like, and he counts like this 3 instead of like that. That was pretty cool. I mean, that's like a very obscure, weird fact, but it turned the whole plot point of that scene, which was pretty awesome. The genius of Tarantino. So I'd like to thank our sponsor, Intox Detox. Hangovers suck. Intox Detox works. I got a pack right here. We're going to put it to use in a second. Looks like this. Some people call us the condom for your liver. Protects your liver, helps you avoid the misery of the next day. Moving along. Here's a disclaimer. I'm going to talk about some headlines. I'm going to talk about some news. I'm going to give you some of my opinions. But I'm not your advisor. I'm not your life coach. So drink for yourself and think for yourself. Make sure you do that every day of your life. Speaking of drinks, let's make a quick drink. I'm lazy today. We're not doing a cocktail. We're doing a beer. And in this case, I've got a couple of beers. I don't know how deep this program is going. I don't know how deep you and I are going right now. So I gotta be well tooled. I gotta be prepared. I have an IPA, which is a double IPA called Hazy Night Better Tomorrow. It's actually a beer with Intox Detox in it. Imagine a beer that you could drink that would prevent the hangover and protect your liver while you drink it. You're welcome. Fund me so I can create this brewery because I've got great tasting beers that we just on the tip of your tongue, and nobody will help me make them. So help me make them. Let's do it. Let's get crazy. Let's make functional beers. I want to make baby making beer. Imagine if your man or your woman could drink a beer and like put her in the mood, get it done, knock it out. I mean, like that's good stuff. Or functional stuff. Sleepy time beer. Hangover prevention beer. De-stressing beer. Herbs clinically proven to help you beat stress. We can do all of these things and more because I have the supplement clinical trial ingredient background, and now I've learned to make beer. So anyway, we got a double IPA here. It's a hazy IPA. It's delicious. I'm going to open it with my Intox Detox beer opener, which is pretty sweet. Get you one of these. You can't because they're not available. I should sell them on our website. Maybe I will. Phone's ringing. Live show. Not going to answer it because I'm too busy talking to you. This is important. what we're doing right here. So we're going to pour this beer. I want you to note the color of this. It's a little darker than a typical hazy IPA because it's got my magic ingredient in it. Green tea, Panax ginseng, and Japanese raisin is the magic in Intox Detox. And it's a little dark, so it creates a little bit darker of a beer. And I think this stuff is absolutely delicious. It's 9%. So I probably won't need these other beers. Honorable mention goes to this Sierra Nevada pack I picked up, like a variety pack. This is a lager called Winter Warmer. It's middling. Sierra Pale Ale, the flagship, middling stuff to me. I mean, you know, like they were craft beer before craft beer was cool. And so I give them props for that. But, you know, doesn't blow my mind, their beer. I mean, it's all right. Like, I'll drink it. It's fine. You know, it's better than nothing. It's better than water, but you always want to have some water. We got some good stuff this show to get into. The first thing I always have to do is synchronize our livers and take my Intox Detox, and then we're going to have a toast. So let's do that. Let's get that done. Your friendly neighborhood Christmas drunk elf, here to celebrate the holidays, or, you know, whatever you celebrate, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Pastafarian, this spaghetti monster, whatever you do, here's to you. Synchronizing our livers, 2 swallows, that's what she said. Oh, water is good. Water is good, especially today. I'm going to get into that for you. Now, here's our toast for the day. And I actually like this one. I Google searched, because I'm super lazy. I Google searched Irish toasts. And there's one, and they didn't have the Gaelic. I like to use the Gaelic because I actually had tapes when I was a kid because I was obsessed with learning languages, which is why I became a French major. Yeah, French major. That's how you end up with this job. Major in French and philosophy, double major. Yeah, well, you're going to need a lot of drinks if you do that. But, you know, I wouldn't change a thing. I have a great life. But yeah, I actually listened to tapes as a kid, like learning Irish. Like, who learns Irish? It's a dead language, basically. I mean, they speak it in like the south of Ireland, nowhere else. And it's kind of, I think it's beautiful and it's great, but you know, it's kind of like, really? You were conquered by the English, and yeah, you won your freedom back, except for Northern Ireland. But it's one of those things. It's like, it's a pride thing, and some people, they don't want it to die. I totally understand that. So I like to support that. Off the top of my head, Irish that I know. Irish lesson number 1. Hello, Giagwich. Good afternoon, Giagwich Tronona. This memory where I, like, if I hear something or read something, I kind of remember it forever. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but yeah, I listened to those tapes when I was like 16, and I'm significantly older than that, and I still remember all those things. Jesus and Mary bless you. Jesus Mudagwich. What else do I know? Are you American? An Americana? Aaron? Oh, we're freezing up here a little bit. Google doesn't like what I'm saying, so they're trying to suppress me. I'm not fake news. I'm real news. I'm a real guy with a silly hat. Looks like an elf and drinking a beer. It's real. Oh, I wasn't supposed to drink until I toasted. So anyway, the Irish toast that I looked up, and the Gaelic was not there, so I don't know the Gaelic, and I'm too lazy to look it up. The toast is, a bird never flew on one wing. Didn't melt your mind, didn't change your life? Well, it's to convince a friend to have a second drink, because one drink never makes you fly. So a bird never flew on one wing. And if you don't like that, then sláinte, you know. Cheers to your health. We're going to get deep. We're going to get balls deep in this episode real quick. Balls deep. I have another shirt that says naughty, and it has a Grinch on it. It says naughty. Who, me? But I wore it to the gym. I'm like that guy that wears that shirt to the gym and you're like, really, guy? But I really like Christmas and the holidays, like I actually really like it. It brings out the kid in me. I like Christmas music. I like merriment. I like mistletoes. I like all kinds of toes, bubble toes, Jack Johnson, mistletoes, um, margaritas. It's just another word that starts with M. It doesn't have toes in it. Let's get on with it. Let's get to these. I want to introduce the guest for today, who is a friend of mine, my best friend, actually. We have long debates about politics and all kinds of things. I want to introduce, hold on, let me get him. It's me. I'm the guest for the show today. And I talk to myself a lot. I have political debates. I have debates about the nature of existence. I debated whether I should wear this stupid hat or my usual hat. You get the point. I'm the guest. I am going to get some guests. I'm working on that. And the thing is that I want to get a couple episodes in me, get this rhythm down, get the flow. And then before I bring another pillar, right now it's just one man, but there will be others. So look forward to that. Headlines for today. Again, I'm always leaning towards finance, geopolitics, not so much toward actual American politics, because that's kind of divisive, and I'm sort of apolitical, and because I just think it's all gone crazy. We're going to get to that in one of our headlines. I got a lot of cool, sobering facts. I got a lot of stuff to share. Let's start. First headline is, deck the halls with vows of folly. Clever. No plan as government nears holiday shutdown. You want to talk about reality TV? Man, Trump and Pelosi, what's her name? That thing, shut the government down over the wall. It's freaking ridiculous, but that's good TV, man. The guy knows how to he knows how to engineer a train wreck. I'll give him that. Now, I'm not pro or against. There's things I like. There's things I hate. And my goal is to never influence you or share that with you. It may trickle out. It may ooze out. The drink may bring it out of me. Who knows? The drink is good at bringing politics and religion out of people, but I try to resist. No, there's no plan. It's a train wreck. It's a slow-moving train wreck. Apparently, there's no plan, and it's just like, I want a wall. I don't want a wall. Like, okay. Sometime in the future, and I've been saying this for a while, but I haven't said it on this podcast, Americans have to have a grown-up conversation, like a big boy, big girl conversation. Like, put your pissing pants on and step up to the plate, and let's have a real talk about what's going on. And we need to go across the aisle, or we need to blow up the aisles. I don't know what we need to do. We need to do something different, because this thing, like crazy grandpa on Twitter, and just the divisiveness and the lack of like integrity and facts, and just, I'm going to get into it. Actually, it's my fifth headline. So let's focus on this. We don't have a plan. Our budget's a disaster already. I mean, like, our trade deficit is absolutely insane. We don't make anything. We make BS services. I mean, aside from Hollywood and winning the cultural war or whatever, like entertainment, what does America make? We make college graduates who can't get jobs because they can't pay their college loans, because student loans and colleges are a racket. I mean, it's just like, man, if you could sell a t-shirt to every child ever born in America, you'd be rich as hell. If you could mark it up to, tens of thousands of dollars per head, think about that racket. Or charge them interest, even though it's low interest on the loans, to let them get the t-shirt. And then you come out with a t-shirt and you're like, I got a t-shirt, hire me. Well, no, There's no there's no jobs for you. You know, I know kids that just came out of school or are still in school. They work 3 or 4 jobs at a time. It's ridiculous. I mean, the world has changed. We can all agree on that. The economy is not as good as they say. It's not. Number 2, Alan Greenspan on the current stock market. Now, this is the irrational exuberance guy. This is the bubble blower in chief, the original bubble blower before Bernanke, before 2008. You know, he blew the bubble into the .com. And, you know, it's just when you make money cheap, money goes in the wrong places. It's so easy to see. A child can understand that. If you give everyone free money, bad things will happen. People can't control themselves. Irrational exuberance, that's the whole definition. Economics is not as complicated as they make it seem. And it's very important, as I addressed in the last one. You know, it's the key to your freedom in life is economics. Soapbox speech over, and Greenspan says, "Run for cover." That's his advice on the stock market. I could not agree more. And again, drink for yourself, think for yourself. I am not your financial advisor, but I would buy something nailed down to the floor, because stock markets are going to crash to the floor and below very soon, probably 2019, but nobody knows. If you knew the timing, we'd all short it and we'd all be billionaires. We can't all be billionaires. I tend to be a contrarian, is what they call us. Tinfoil hat, elf, Santa hat people that buy gold and silver. I would buy gold and silver. I would buy silver. I'm not that rich, so I really can't even afford an ounce of gold, but I can buy silver. You got $20 to go out to Applebee's? Don't do that. Buy silver. Cook yourself a steak at home. That's my advice. And be ready. If Greenspan is saying run for cover, he's a smart dude. And he doesn't usually tell the truth about the economy. So there must be something big coming. Our third headline is it's voodoo economics. Trump advises Fed to feel the market, not use meaningless numbers. You want to talk about meaningless numbers? How about the unemployment rate? Totally meaningless number. It's fake, number one. You can go to shadowstats.com and see John Williams, who very smart guy. He calculates the unemployment rate like it was done in 1980, not with all the BS fudgings that they can basically make, you know, put lipstick on on a pig and make it look great when it's not. There's a lot of people that aren't counted. You can look this up. It's all factual. I'm not making stuff up. The labor force participation rate is at, you know, one of the lowest levels ever. And it's the number when it was lower, I think, was when females were not in the workplace, and now they are, and it's still like lowest in history. It's a problem. It's a real problem. There's a lot of people that want good jobs that can't find them. I know a few of them. So yeah, I mean, for him to talk about meaningless numbers, and you want to hear about some other meaningless numbers, the highs in the stock market, meaningless numbers, inflated with just fake money. They've been printing fake money, like monopoly money, and it all flows to the top of the chain, and they buy stocks, or corporations buy back their own stock. They actually take debt, buy back their stock. CEOs get paid out, then they lay off workers. They're gutting the companies. They're not investing money in new factories or new products or great new, you know, hey, let's sell Intox Detox at our store, right? Because it's such a great product, which it is. No, they're not doing that. They're buying back their own stock with debt, and interest rates are going up on that debt. What could go wrong? Everything. So, you know, for one, Trump shouldn't push on the Fed at all. They're supposed to be independent. The Fed shouldn't exist at all. Go see Ron Paul. I don't think they should end it overnight. I think they should phase it out or go back to true credit. True currency, and not debt-based currency, which is what we have. go back to the U.S. Treasury can actually issue money. And I'm not saying it's realistic to back it by gold and silver the way it used to be, but it has to be backed by something. We've been floating. Currencies have floated since 1971 when Nixon basically went off the gold standard. We have to crush these speculators. Well, the speculators were just people that were promised gold that he said, no, you can't have it because we printed more dollars than we had gold. And that's the reality. And Rome did the same thing. Every great empire does it eventually. They default on their currency because that's the way you make a lot of promises and then you default. That is the way it works. It's a cyclical thing. It's always been that way. What they should do, instead of bailing out banks and giving them free money, they should bail out Main Street. They should just have a debt jubilee. Everybody's debt is forgiven. Let's start over from one, including the U.S. government. It would fix everything, but it would also break everything. And a lot of people that hold the power are scared of that. So I think Trump needs to back up off the Fed and evaluate meaningless numbers a little bit, in his house, in the White House, because he's a cheerleader for the stock market, which is all his doing. Of course, he's created this great rally in the stock market and all-time highs. Well, it could just be a volcano blowing up. You could say, oh, this mountain is higher than it's ever been, but it's just blowing up right now. It's in the process of blowing up. Let's talk about the fourth thing, which is not so much a headline, but something that I've been following, a news story. The French Yellow Jackets, these guys that Macron, who is the president of France, is pushing this agenda of a lot of taxes on fossil fuels. So like gas, and obviously people need gas. They don't drive as much, but France is a big country. It's not all metropolitan like Paris, and there are people who need to drive. And when their cost of gas, just like an American, it's already more expensive than us. I think they're already typically like $5 a gallon. We're paying, I think $2.73 I paid yesterday. Of course, ours is all subsidized, and I don't want to get into that, but we pay a lot less than them, and they're freaking out because they're putting all these extra taxes on it. Now, say what you will about climate change and all that agenda. I don't even want to get into that. I just want to say, as a man on the street, whether je parle français or English, I don't like when my gas price goes up. Like, I was eating steak, now I got to eat chicken. I was eating chicken, now I got to eat Spam. It doesn't feel good. And when people get hungry, they get mad. And in the case of the French, they're all because they're very state socialist kind of country, and they all have these yellow jackets they're supposed to keep in their car in case of a road emergency. You put it on so that people know that you're in danger, your car's broken down, whatever. So they're all putting these things on in protest, and just hundreds of thousands of people walking around with these things on and just pissed off at the government. It's bad. So Macron has actually had to dial back his taxes. He's taken it back because he's his approval rating is one of the lowest. I think it's in the 10%. I mean, the government could get toppled. It's that low. It's a fascinating story to follow, and maybe not as much talked about in the mainstream media of America, and it should be, because it's legitimately it's a revolution. They're putting on yellow jackets and getting violent in the street. So something to be concerned about. I mean, the government should fear the people. That's in a just scenario. I mean, they're meant to fear us. And say what you will about where that conversation leads, which I'm not going there right now. I'm not going Second Amendment, but I will go First Amendment. We have rights, and we say what we want to say, and they should fear us. I don't want this program to stretch on forever, so let's graduate from our headlines. The last headline I want to give you, though, is that I overheard two friends having an argument. And one's very left and one's very right. They're both very polite about their argument, but they argued, and I didn't step in because I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to, You don't want to go 2-on-1. It's just not fair. Not a fair fight. But the boogeyman, the Russian boogeyman, this whole thing. I mean, I think the problem is not Russia versus is Russia evil? Are the Democrats evil? Who's evil? Who's bad? I don't think it's any of that. We just need facts. We need real facts. Like none of this like corporate sponsored fake news bullshit. We need the real facts. I mean, you hear about Uranium One. Clinton basically as Secretary of State overseeing giving away 20% of the U.S.'s uranium stores to Russia. I mean, that sounds fishy. I don't know everything, but it's confirmed and it's weird. I mean, we need to know the facts about that. We need to declassify all the FISA, all this stuff, and we need to know the facts. The American public needs to start having, like I said, a big boy conversation, a big girl conversation with real facts, not hearsay, not what Tucker Carlson thinks or Rachel Maddow or whoever. The real facts. Just give us the facts. We're not dumb. We need the facts, and then we can decide for ourselves. And I think that's what we're lacking. And I think they love for us to fight over this stuff and just completely obscure the real problem, which is that they're the problem. We need to get together. We need to come together as a people and say, look, we're going to be a people or we're not. Like, let's break up or let's keep going. And, that's an adult conversation. And I don't think most people are qualified for that conversation. Sadly. Let's get to some sobering facts. Sobering facts. Just once on that. Make a note. I don't even have a pen. Just making a mental note. One. First sobering fact. I got a bunch for you because I couldn't stop. I mean, I just kept seeing more good ones. And I'm not giving you any opinion, any sway on this. It's just facts. The FDA has never approved any condom for anal sex. Isn't that weird? I mean, strange. Number two, while we're on butt stuff, between 1533 and 1861, anal sex was actually illegal in England and Wales. It's punishable by death. I mean, that's a hate crime. Just saying. I might also add, maybe that's why their teeth are so jacked up. That was terrible. Number three, humans are the only mammal with permanently swollen breasts. All other animals that give milk only have them when nursing. Thank you, God. Number four, women and men who like the taste of beer yep, still like it. They're 60% more likely to have sex with you on the first date. So my only question is, can I buy you a beer? Or I got one right now. I'm ready to go. Along to the next portion of our show, which is our drunk quote. This is one that I actually heard in Ireland, and I loved it. And I wasn't drunk at the time, but I mean, I was drunk for most of the time when I was in Ireland last, as you should be when your cousins are buying you free drinks. I mean, I got a lot of Irish cousins. Oh, you don't know this about me, my grandfather. My mom's father was born in Ireland. So I'm actually eligible for Irish citizenship, which is something I will probably procrastinate until I die. Maybe like when they give me, like, they're like, hey, 6 months to live, I'll be like, oh, I better get my Irish citizenship so I can die an Irish citizen. No, but this is about this. So there's a territory, I guess it's like a state. No, it's a county. There's a county in Ireland called Kerry. And supposedly the men from Kerry are so charming that they have a way. They have a way about them. Like people love them. They're they're beloved. They're people pleasers. I might have a little bit of Carrie Man in me. I'm not sure. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I got the gift of gab. I've got the silver tongue, and sometimes I'm just like in a stupor. I mean, I'm not always on point. Wish I could be. I got a friend. His name's Kobe Toland. Some of you may know him. He to me is the quintessential Carrie Man, and you'll understand if you know him when I give you the quote. So the quote is this, and we're going to toast to it. The Carrie Man can tell someone to go to hell in such a way that they will actually start looking forward to the journey. You probably know someone like that. So good with words that they can just tell you to fuck off. And you're like, that sounds like a good idea, actually. So anyway, cheers to that. Cheers to the Carrie Man. If you are one, if you know one, if you want to be one, don't be like me. I'm only partially. I think I'm a drunk Carrie Man. Like stark sober. If you're like came up to me and said hello, I would be like, I'm weird. I just like wouldn't know what to say. Sometimes I'm fine. I drift in and out of reality. I guess we all do. Today we're going to talk about issues. I wish I had a female. We might have to do a second version of issues, but my issue for the day is manscaping. Yes or no? If ever you were to like comment or something, now would be the time. I really don't care what you think, unless you're going to come on my show and get interviewed. But feel free to comment. I feel like because I'm getting older and I feel like all the kids are doing it, and like you never know what's cool when you have like 10 years when you know what's cool. It's your 20s. And then you get into your 30s and you're like, I don't know what's cool anymore. And you try to keep up, and like then you have kids. And like kids don't know what's cool. That's why childhood is so painful. Adolescence, you're trying to figure out what's cool. Am I cool? Do I want to be cool? Is cool bad? Is it good? I don't even know. Like sometimes being cool is bad. Sometimes being bad is cool. Being good is rarely cool. It's an interesting, it's like rebel without a cause stuff. It's like, reach into the cookie jar. You want what you can't have. You want to grow up faster, and then you want to accelerate into adulthood. And then when you get to be my age, you're like, oh, pump the brakes. I want to slam on the brakes. I want to stop. I don't want to get bigger ears and get weird and look more like an elf and hair in my ears and like. So manscaping, yes or no? I mean, I do some of it. I feel like you have to, like, I don't know why. Why do we hate our bodies? Why are we like, oh, my body's bad, I gotta fix it? I mean, I get into working out and stuff, and I enjoy it, and I take pride in the fact that I try to take care of my body and take care of myself, but definitely gets harder as you get older. And some days you just like, why? Why do I do it? So I feel like manscaping is the same. Totally shaven, can't do it because this guy, my skin is very sensitive. I don't know if you can see these little bumps, but like I just shaved yesterday, and like very sensitive skin. Like, it's just like my skin breaks out. I get ingrown hairs real bad. Maybe I just don't know the trick. But yeah, I mean, I tried that for a while and like, nah, it's not for me. Like just a trimming is better. People are blowing up my phone. Nobody wants to talk to me when I'm not podcasting. But yeah, hey, turn on, go live, and all of a sudden I'm freaking popular as shit. So I'm a like middle ground. I'm like a little bit of Manscaped, but not like I'm not taking it all off because I just feel like I would just look like a disaster. Like my skin is so sensitive. It would just be like, where does the rash end and where do I begin? Like I would just be head to toe rash if I shaved everything. So I'm a trimmer. What are you? Put your comment in or don't, because I don't care. It's not like I'm going to go look. You're watching me. I'm not watching you. Okay, let's be very clear about that. All right. So now the next segment is called Drunk at the Movies. Then we're going to do a shot of truth. I got a shot lined up here for us. And then we're going to get out of here because I don't want to keep you forever. I seem to be consistently going over 30 minutes. I guess I just like talking to myself a lot. Drunk at the movies, I saw Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know if you saw it. A lot of people have not. I was talking to some friends yesterday and they had not seen it. I liked it. I'm going to tell you, I did not know the history of Freddie Mercury. I knew nothing about him. I did not know that he was born in like Zanzibar. The only thing I know about Zanzibar is like Tenacious D. What's that song? You don't always have to work hard. In fact, sometimes that's not right to do. Sometimes you gotta make some love and look and give her some smooches too. Sometimes you got to squeeze. Sometimes you got to say please. Sometimes you gotta say hey. You know the rest. But he says there's the part where he's like, I'm not gonna cook it, but I'll order it from Zanzibar. It's the only thing I know about Zanzibar. Apparently that's a real place. And in that context, probably a restaurant or delivery place. I don't even know. Sounds like some cool LA stuff that I don't know about. Again, old, young, I've never known what's cool in the world. Jack Black is cool. I know that. I wish he was my friend. I'd have him on this program. He'd be like right here. Or Zach Galifianakis or somebody cool. Two Ferns or something. I don't have two Ferns. I just got like a Christmas tree back there. I got a silly hat. Got a green blazer. It's pretty good, I guess. All depends on what you're into. Everybody's into different stuff. Some people are into famous people. Some people are into me. Gotta make choices in life. You only got so much time. Oh, digression. Bohemian Rhapsody was great. And they recreated their Live Aid performance, which is pretty ballsy. I mean, it's long. Like, it was just like, is this? I was loving it when I was watching the movie. But I was like, when is this going to end? When are they going to cut away? They didn't. They just kept doing it. It was great. And I don't know. I think that not a like visually like a spot on Freddie Mercury, the actor, but I mean, he had the vibe and he kind of made it his own. I liked it. I really liked the film. I would recommend it. And the history of that song and how unpopular it was when it first got released. Very interesting stuff. So check out Bohemian Rhapsody. And that was Drunk at the Movies, brought to you by Intox Detox. All natural hangover remedy. Take it when you're having some drinks. Protect your liver. And you won't feel so shitty the next day. Okay? Cool. You can check that out at intox-detox.com. Make sure you get the dash, because if you just go to intox-detox.com, some jerk bought it and won't sell it to me for like under 20 grand. Eventually I'll buy it, but it's like I'm waiting for him to die, or her. It's not a sex thing. Anyway, it's time for a shot of truth. I got 2 shots of truth actually, and they're pretty deep. So let's go there. Got a big shot glass today. It's pretty big. I think it's like a double. And we're going to need it because I got an interesting drink to make. So I looked up the blowjob shot. I've actually never done a blowjob, like in any sense of that expression. I'm a cunning linguist. I speak a lot of languages and I have a penchant for it. Big words, penchant. No, I'm pretty good at learning languages. Like, I just remember stuff, and I don't know. I'm too shy. I don't want to speak the language because I'm afraid I'll mess up. People will laugh at me. But back to the blowjob. So I looked that shot up and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But you know how I like to put my twist on things. So today we're going to do I'm mixing up what I have here in the house. So I've got some Baileys, but this is salted caramel. Got the Chambord, which I used last time. I use that again. And I've got some Avion tequila espresso. So yes, I'm mixing cream and a cordial and a tequila cordial. Gonna need this stuff when you're mixing all kinds of stuff. And I also have some whipped cream. Ready whip. It's ready and it's whipped. Ready whip. All right, so I'm thinking we're just gonna do thirds. I think equal parts of these things will work for us. See, if you were on the show, you could actually do this with me. It smells like coffee, but it also smells like tequila. What are we going to call this shot? That's the question. I think I want to call it the coffee breath salty blowjob. Oh, coffee breath salty sweet blowjob. Because it's supposed to be amaretto, but I got Chambord. It's supposed to be amaretto and Bailey's. I got Chambord instead. I like Chambord. Raspberry stuff. It's fun to put in your champagne, I'll tell you that much. And we're gonna top this off with the Bailey's, and then we're gonna put a little whipped cream, and I'm gonna perform a blowjob on camera right now. By myself. It's a good thing you guys are cool, because I've been maybe a little offensive so far. Maybe. So here's my shot of truth. Before I cue up the whipped cream, I don't want it to melt. I want to deliver my shot of truth. I have 2 shots of truth. Shot of truth number 1 backs up my segment from Drunk News Uno, where I said it was, hey, drunk asshole. I told the story about going to a banker's house. I got a little pushback on that because some people are like, not all bankers are evil. I'm not saying bankers are evil. I'm saying the institutions themselves are quite evil. It's proven. You can look it up. They pay all these fines for all these crimes that they have committed, but they don't have to admit blame, and nobody goes to jail. So it's just fine. So these are facts. I'm not telling you like, ooh, I just hate banks because I do, because they have money and I don't, because they can print money and I can't. I get arrested if I print money, but they don't. Okay, yeah, that's a valid argument, but that's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying they have committed crimes that if you or I committed, we would go to jail, and they don't go to jail. So banks are evil. That is a shot of truth for you. Second shot of truth, I do get hungover sometimes. I own a hangover remedy company, but I'm also a human, and I overdo things. I will wake up and feel a little under the weather, even when I take Intox Detox, which is this stuff, my company. But you know what I do? It's not magic. It's not a magic pill. It's not like magic beans. You just pop them and a freaking beanstalk grows up to the sky. Like, no, that's not real life. It just helps your liver work better. So I feel better than I should, and I wake up and I have some coffee and I have some water and I have another pack of Intox Detox to help my liver catch up, and I move on with my life. If I do, most of the time I don't end up hungover. That's the truth, like 80% of the time. The 20% of the time that I feel a little under the weather, it's usually because I drank like an idiot. I didn't sleep enough. I didn't drink any water, or I just didn't eat, or I messed up. Like, I'm just not perfect. You know, none of us are perfect. But, you know, so I blame myself. I take more of the stuff. I get back, like it cuts the duration of the hangover like in half. And I would say even more than that. Like usually within 30 to 45 minutes, I feel fine. And I can even like go to the gym and do a productive workout. So that tells you something. That's my shot of truth. AB post Intox Detox does get a little hungover sometimes. I'm just being honest. So let's do this, do up this whipped cream, do this shot of truth. Once you get on with your life. I feel like you're supposed to do this without, it's a really big shot glass. You're supposed to do it without touching it with your hands, I think. Oh man, why do I do this to myself? It's probably going to go all over me. This is going to be amazing. All right, are you ready for this? I'm going to move my notes. Oh, I'm very terrified of this, actually. Okay, ready? This is going to be awful. I literally can't get my mouth around it. It's too big. That's what she said. I got to use my hand. I'm sorry, it's my first blowjob. Oh, my ball. Wow. Ooh, that was strong, but good. Very good. That was that was today's shot of truth. It's a coffee breath, uh, sweet and salty blowjob. Totally inappropriate. Hey, so I want to thank you for tuning in to Drunk News Vi or Dry. I think it's Vi. Man, I could look it up right now. What are you doing? You got time? Of course you do. Let's see. You can see me, but I can't see you because I'm on another window. How to say two in German. I'm literally Googling Zwei. I totally got it wrong. I wasn't sure if I was going to do my third or my second. And I think my research was for the third. So I wrote it as dry, but it's Zwei. So this is Drunk News Vi. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staring at my elf ears, my stupid hat, and my awesome blazer. And I hope you had a drink with me. I hope you had fun. I'll see you in the next one. And you know what? Life is short. Enjoy yourself. Have a couple drinks. Love your mama. A wise man told me that once. Love your mama. And I'll leave you with this. This is an AB quote. I'm AB, by the way. The world vastly underestimates the value of comfortable pants. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.